Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Steve O'Callaghan. I am one of the program directors for the MSc in Corporate Finance, which is one of a number of MSc in Finance programs we have here at UCC in Cubs. And I'm going to talk over the next couple of minutes. And what I'd like to do is to give you a genuine sense of what the program is, who it's designed for, and what you can realistically expect to do when you come out the other side. So let me just start off with who the program is for, because I think really this is probably one of the most important things that I can impart to you today. So when people hear MSc Finance, they often assume that this is a program really for finance graduates or accounting graduates who've done programs of these things in undergraduates, in their undergraduate study. That's not the case in this particular program. So this program is open to business graduates in general, so finance, commerce, management, economics, marketing, IS, and so on. But it's also open to graduates with a strong quantitative background from their undergraduate study. So we have students from science, from engineering, from IT, who want to transition into financial careers. And I would emphasize that as one of the distinguishing characteristics of this particular MSc in finance. So if you think analytically, if you're numerate and you're interested in how financial decisions get made, there's usually a route into the program for you. And we feel that this matters because the industry has changed. So the people being hired into corporate finance roles today, they're not just people who can read a set of accounts and analyze a set of accounts. They need to be able to build an analytical model. They need to be able to use tools like Python to analyze the data, and then they need to be able to communicate clearly and simply to a board or to a client what this means and what actions can be taken or what actions need to be taken. So we've designed this program with that in mind. Okay, in terms of what you will study, so at its core, this program is about how companies make important financial decisions. So how do you value a company? How do you value securities issued by a company, bonds and shares? How do you structure a private equity deal or a major infrastructure project? How do you find acquisition targets? How do you execute acquisitions? How do you manage risk across a portfolio of assets? So these are the kind of questions that we ask, and by the end of the program, these are the kind of questions that our graduates can answer in complex contexts. The program covers corporate finance, capital markets, mergers and acquisitions, project finance, and private equity, all in a single integrated corporate finance MSc. So we also, as well as covering that set of content, we also give you the technical toolkit. So we rely really on two key tools. Python and machine learning for finance is a module that we do, and we integrate that across other modules in terms of using the approach, and Excel-based financial modeling. So these are not bolted on to as extra standalone modules. They're also integrated across the content in the program. In semester 3 then, there are two potential exit pathways that you can select from. Either a corporate internship, where you go and you work in a firm for 3 months and you're supervised by an academic from Cubs, as well as a professional mentor in the organization, or a research project that has academic mentoring from UCC. And I'll talk more about that in a moment. So the question I think I get asked and other program directors get asked most when at these kind of events is, will this get me the job I want, or what opportunities does this open for me? So when I was preparing these slides over the last couple of days, I looked at my LinkedIn contacts, and many of the graduates of the program over the last couple of years are contacts of mine on LinkedIn, and I selected a couple and asked them could I use them as examples for the program open day. And a couple of those that I selected would be Kelvin Kagiri, who graduated last year. He is a corporate finance executive in a boutique M&A advisory here in Ireland. He did his internship in the program with that advisory firm and transitioned into a full-time position. Aoife Hartnett, who graduated a couple of years ago from the program, is a senior manager in compliance in a RegTech firm, Novartis Global. Micheál Martin is an associate director in Ernst & Young Corporate Finance. And Sean Lorden is a treasury liquidity manager at BP. So it was hard to choose kind of 4 representative graduates because there's a very wide range of finance roles that our graduates work in, but I thought they were fairly representative. So to give you a kind of a broader sense then, so our graduates would go into positions as corporate finance analysts, investment or corporate banking analysts, broader financial analysts of various kinds like FP&A or treasury. And then there would be a lot of graduates who go into more consultancy roles. So management consultants, compliance consultants are working in either for regulators or regulatory consultants like Aoife Hartnett there, for example. And here I've put up just a couple of the companies that recruit from the program. So we've got investment managers like Goodbuddies or Davies here in Ireland, or internationally BlackRock or GAM or Tremont Capital. A lot of our graduates go into more traditional banking. So you've got corporate banks like AIB or Bank of Ireland Global Markets or Barclays, and then you've got investment banks like Goldman Sachs, JP Morgan or BNP Paribas. And then we also have graduates in Central Bank of Ireland, other European central banks, and the European Central Bank itself. Consultancy is another stream that hires quite a lot of our graduates. So a couple of the consulting firms that have hired graduates over the last couple of years. So First Derivative, is a financial consultancy. Likewise, Centris is a risk management consultancy. Then you've got the big 4 accounting firms who do a lot of the international consulting work, and Accenture, the traditional consulting firms. We would also send a lot of our graduates to be recruited by broader corporate firms to work in their treasury departments or other financial functions. So Apple, Google and Amazon have very large operations in Ireland, their European headquarters. Then you've got Irish multinationals like Kerry Group, for example, or international multinationals like BP, as Sean Lorden in the previous example. Okay, so to get down to kind of nitty gritty in terms of what you would actually study in the program. So if I break it into kind of technical skills and then transferable skills. So on the technical side, you'll develop skills in financial analysis and modeling, and that's both on the analyzing accounting information side, as well as deriving useful data from that information, from that accounting information, and using Python and machine learning for finance to uncover patterns in asset prices, to optimize portfolios and so on. A broad range of corporate financing skills. So what type of capital firms need to raise, how you value the firm and so on. Risk measurement and risk management techniques, and derivatives pricing. So these are the kind of tools that employers in the sector expect you to arrive with when you start your position. And then on the transferable skills side, and I would really encourage you when you're choosing a master's program to not to underestimate the importance of these skills. You'll develop professional written and oral communication skills, data-driven problem solving, and the ability to work in teams under real pressure. So we also teach modules on research skills to students, and we run a module throughout the year focusing on enhancing students' communication, presentation, and IT skills. And this module offers an excellent opportunity to refine and improve your networking, communication, and presentation skills. So I'm not going to go through all of the modules that you study. So there's a list of modules here. You can see they cover they run the full gamut of corporate financing, from raising capital and analyzing projects to forecasting and valuation and risk management. So in terms of how we teach, we use the S&P Capital IQ platform to give access for students to real-time financial data, and all students have access to that and get training in using that. You'll work using that data and other data sources. You work through applied case studies, team projects, and practitioner seminars, so as Olive was mentioning earlier, throughout the year. And we really put an emphasis on innovative teaching, learning, and assessment methods in this program and in CUBS more broadly. So in this program, for example, we use simulations in a number of modules where students work in groups under time pressure to develop and negotiate solutions to financial problems with other student groups. And that's a lot of fun, and it's a really good teaching experience, a learning experience for students. And we and the students, I think, find these approaches can be quite transformative in how they foster an understanding of the integration and implementation of financial theory and tools in a kind of a complex and realistic settings. So semester 3, then, I mentioned it earlier, our students have the choice as to whether they go and get an internship for 3 months over the summer period. And we'll provide support in finding that internship for you. And you'll be mentored by academics on the program during that internship, as well as having a professional mentor in the firm that you're doing the internship in. And many of our students transition directly from that internship into their full-time graduate role. Other students will undertake research projects over the summer period where you're given intensive support and mentorship by a nominated academic on the program. Both of these are genuinely valued by employers. They offer different things. One is a deeper learning experience where you do the research project and you develop skills in valuation, financial analysis. The other is more work-based learning, where you make contacts and get real-world experience. So in terms of what makes the program unique, there's a couple of things that I would highlight. So first, and I mentioned this at the start, this is an unusual MSc in finance program in that it is genuinely open to broader business graduates and non-business STEM graduates. So if you have a quantitative background and you want to move into finance, we have the structured pathway for you. You don't need to have studied finance before. Second, the curriculum is quite broad, but it's integrated. So corporate finance is quite a broad topic and a broad subject, and there's many different career pathways you can follow down within the broader corporate finance umbrella. But we cover the full range of corporate finance content and skills. And even for students working in one particular niche of corporate finance, employers tell us that that breadth is valued by them. Third, our technical training in Python and machine learning is fully integrated into the program. So you'll learn the skills in one particular module, but you can use them then in other modules where you're analyzing financial data. And on the teaching approach then, So I use the example of simulations as one of the innovative teaching approaches we do. And just to give you an example, so in a module I was teaching on risk management this semester, I broke the students into groups, and one group might be equity holders, another group might be creditors, another group are financial advisors. And the scenario was I'm being told I need to finish up here. Anyway, it's a very transformative learning experience. So just finally then, last point, it's a relatively small cohort of 60 to 70 students. So you'll know your lecturers, you'll know your students, and you'll have direct access to myself and the other program directors. Thank you very much for your attention, and I'll hand back to Mairead there. Our contact details are up here.
Thanks so much, Steve. Sorry for cutting you short at the end. Perfect. That was fantastic. And there was one question, I'll just ask it quickly. Do you need to know Python or programming before you go into the course?
No.
Okay.
Simple answer.
Perfect.